What up, Reefing Peeps? It's Psywar. In this video, we're going to talk about Hurricane Irma, hair algae, fragging my coral in an attempt to save what's left, deep cleaning to try and bring down high nitrates, and a minimalist approach. So let's get it started. As you may or may not know, I live in Tampa, Florida. A few weeks ago in early September, we were smack dab in the crosshairs of Hurricane Irma. In fact, at one point in the forecast, the eye of Hurricane Irma was set to pass straight over top of my house as a Category 3.
Tonight, a worst-case scenario in the Tampa Bay area, home to more than 3 million people.
Tampa is now where Hurricane Irma could make landfall on Florida's west coast.
There is a serious threat of significant storm surge along the entire west coast of Florida. Tampa will see a surge of 5 to 8 feet.
Needless to say, the pucker factor was pretty high.
Closer to the Bay Area, the likelihood in Old Hillsborough Bay and Tampa Bay now increasing for storm surge. You see the red color there.
To the north, we're looking at really getting into 1 a.m. by the time we're moving on through from midnight to 1 through the Tampa area. These outer bands continuing to lift to the north.
By 7 p.m., we were starting to feel the effects of the storm. All I could do was sit, watch the sun go down, and hope for the best. By 1 o'clock in the morning, the rain was coming in sideways, but luckily, we still had power. The storm battered other parts of Florida throughout the night. When the sun came up and the storm had passed, I surveyed the damage, and we'd come out pretty much unscathed, but I can't say the same for others. My heart really goes out to all those who are still feeling the effects of the storm. We were definitely lucky. Irma ended up passing to the east of us, and it was only a Category 1 by the time it got up to Tampa. At the height of the storm, we only lost power a few times, and it was only for a minute or two at that. So, that's pretty much my Hurricane Irma experience. Now, let's turn our attention towards the tank. Well, this is what a month of neglect looks like. Between the storm, family, and me starting back up school for my master's, I haven't had a lot of free time to work on the tank. The hair algae exploded, and the corals were still on a downward spiral. My nitrates were on the rise also. So, it was time to get wet and clean this mess up. The first step was to try and save as much of my coral as I could. I decided to frag them up, and my buddy Wayne was going to look after them while I got the tank straight. After that, I took it over to my workbench, pulled out my Dremel with the diamond blade, and started going to work. and put them back into the tank until I could get them over to Wayne's shop. Next, I clean the glass. After that, it was time to attack the hair algae. After pulling it off the rocks manually, I use a toothbrush to get the remaining bits. And then I used a turkey baster to blow out all the detritus. After I was done, I'd removed a huge amount of hair algae. Next, it was time to attack the elevated nitrate issue. There were a few factors that I think were contributing to it. One, my reactor was sucking up gunk from my sump, so I decided to remove the reactor altogether. My plan is to reinstall it once I get my tank settled and everything straightened out. Number two, I had too many mangroves in the sump. They were losing leaves and their roots were breaking off, and they were just sitting in the bottom of the sump decomposing. So I went in and removed everything that I could. I also pulled my skimmer because it had been a while since I'd cleaned it. Hopefully my girlfriend doesn't watch this and see that I use a bathtub for all of this. Then, it was time to clean the wave makers. It had also been a long time since I had done this. They needed it pretty bad. I reinstalled the skimmer. Then last, I did a water change. A little barren at the moment, but after a month or two, once I get this hair algae under control and get my levels all straightened out, I'll start adding coral back in. I'll keep you guys posted on the tank's recovery and the next update video. But until then, if you like what you saw, make sure you hit that thumbs up. If you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. And until the next video, stay salty.